BT Sheepdog here with you guys again today. I realized that my fighting rifle video, it's a little outdated. I made that last year. I've made some changes to my carbine, as you can tell. I'm going to go through those real quick, as quick as possible. This is the same rifle. It's a DPMS AP4 with a cryo treat on the barrel, chrome lined. I swapped out my Surefire G2 for a Streamlight Polytac. It's 140 lumens LED. One thing I don't like about this though is the tail switch is nothing like the Surefires. The Surefires you have to rotate for constant on, and it's push button momentary, but this you can run it either momentary or you can click it and it will stay on, which I don't really like that. You might click it on at the wrong moment or have it come on permanently when you don't want it to be. I swapped out the KZ aluminum forward grip for this Knight's Armament one. It's one that's seen a couple deployments. It's a lot lighter weight, and I don't really need that rail that came attached on the KZ. Going for weight savings on this thing. Got sick of it being so heavy and unruly. Did away with the BSA red dot sight. Like I was saying in my previous video on this rifle, it's a liability. It's by no means fit for combat duty, and I don't have the money right now for an aim point. Otherwise there'd probably be a T1 micro sitting on top of this, and there will be at some point. Replaced my rail panels with these Magpul ladder rail panels. I like them a lot better. They feel a lot more comfortable in your hand, a lot lower profile. I also remounted my rear carry handle, which has been chopped down. I wasn't going to go spend, $40, $60, $80 on another rear sight when I had one right there. All it needed was a little bit of work, 10 minutes with a hacksaw and a grinder and some spray paint. And, it looks pretty decent. Paint's coming off. Big deal. Hit it again with Krylon and it'll be good. We'll go through a couple of the features on this rifle just because I'm probably going to do away with the other video that's on here of my rifle. I don't know, I may leave it just for reference, but got extended bolt catch, Magpul trigger guard, Hogue rear grip, a Command Arms Accessories stock saddle. I like it, helps the cheek weld a lot. I always get the same consistent cheek weld every time I shoulder this rifle. My eyes are right on the sights. I can shoot both eyes open through iron sights. So having that good solid cheek weld every time I place it consistently in the same place, real handy. Always looking through the sight as soon as I shoulder it. We got a rear sling adapter plate here, ambidextrous. Don't really need ambidextrous. I pretty much just run it on the left side. I run a single point sling with a mash hook. Hooks right on there just fine, and I can transition to left shoulder no problem. I believe this is a Badger Ordnance tack latch right there. Big old latch on my charging handle. Lets me grab a hold of it pretty easily under stress. I can get it with my right hand as well when I'm shooting off my weak side. Some people I know don't really like extended controls. They are a snag hazard. I have never had any issues with it thus far. I do train with this thing quite a bit, and as I said, no issues so far, but the potential exists for a snag. I may go with a smaller charging handle at some point. This side, we got an oversized mag release. Again, another snag hazard. I mean, that sucker sticks right out there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's quite the mag release. It's huge. Definitely don't have any problems finding that thing. Chromed internals. I'm going to pull those out in a second, and I'll go over some of the reliability upgrades I've done to it. But yeah, it's just a good, solid, basic carbine. I've only had one malfunction with it when it was brand new. I had fired maybe about 200 rounds through it, and I had a bolt ring jump out of the groove in the bolt and fold itself over the bolt, stopping it in the bolt carrier. It was a pretty hard lockup. I had a hell of a time getting it apart. But I'll go over that when I get the internals out here. Alright, well, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to break this thing down, pull the internals out, and give you a quick show of what I'm running in there for upgrade. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, chrome plated bolt and bolt carrier. They wear a lot longer. I've shot 10,000 plus rounds to this, kind of a low ball figure probably. Have not replaced a single part yet, other than my bolt rings. Like I said, I had an issue with that. Did away with that problem. I don't think it'll ever happen again. I'll explain that in a second. My cam pin is starting to wear. I've got some pretty good wear on that. That's probably due for replacement. You don't want one of these cracking and letting go. I run a McFarland one-piece bolt gas ring on my bolt. Can't really see it here. The video's not focusing for some reason. I have one in the package here. Here's what the old school ones look like. A standard bolt ring. See, they're a split clip ring. And you put 3 of those on your bolt. For those of you not familiar with ARs. This is the one-piece one. It's coiled kind of like a spring. This is just my replacement. Let me see if I can get a good shot of that. Coiled just like a spring. It's kind of a pain to get on there, but once it's on, you're never going to have any of those splits lining up in the 3 rings. None of those issues. Your ring's not going to jump out of the groove and fold over like it did in mine. I feel it's a big reliability upgrade. Everybody should have one. If you have an AR, get a one-piece gas ring. It's worth the investment. They're, you know, $3-4, and I've never had an issue with this gun ever. Just that one time when it was brand new. I've never had a failure to extract, a failure to feed, a misfire, nothing with this weapon. It's worked flawlessly every single time I squeezed the trigger. Another reliability upgrade I did was the firing pin retaining pin. That's the K&S Precision old style retaining pin. Apparently this is what they used to use in the A1 styles until they went to the cotter pin type. Not too fond of the cotter pin. It looks kind of like a weak link to me. This is a nice solid, you know, milled piece of steel versus a bent little steel rod, kind of like a paper clip in a way. It's not much thicker. It seems to hold in there a lot better, and it just seems like less chance for failure to me. And if this is intended to be a fighting weapon, failure is not an option. It's really not. But yeah, real quick, also, I'm running an AccuWedge in here. Didn't need it when I first got the gun. I don't know how the halves fit now that I've put a lot of rounds downrange with it. I just put it in from the get-go, even though the fit and finish seemed really nice. The 2 halves locked right up, real nice and solid. Very, very, very little play. I just figured, can't hurt. Had a package of them sitting around from my other ARs, and which I no longer have. X's will do that to you. But yeah, that's a quick rundown of my fighting rifle. Real simple, real light. I'm a big believer of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. There's not a lot of weight on that gun, not a lot that can go wrong. I've gone back to running irons just because, they're always on. They don't fall off. They don't have lenses that'll break. No batteries to die. You just pick it up and it's ready to go. You can't really go wrong with irons, and I think if you can't shoot for shit with iron sights, you need to go back and retrain with that, because those are fundamentals. If you don't have the fundamentals and you just rely on that red dot all the time, what's going to happen when your red dot dies or breaks or falls off? You'll be up shit creek without a paddle, so to speak. So yeah, send me your views, comments, opinions, hate mail, whatever you want. I know there's a lot of AK fans out there. They're a great gun. AR is a great gun too. I like them both. I've just obviously been trained way more on an AR, and there are things that I do like better than on the AK. Mostly the fire controls, the ergonomics of it are a lot better. Not only that, but your main bolt mass when it recoils through this buffer tube, it's right in line with your shoulder. It's not like with an AK where you have a pivot point, because your bolt mass is recoiling up here and your stock's down here. That creates a pivot point, which translates into more perceived recoil. I don't think they're as controllable. Like I said, I've been shooting both systems, and I prefer the M4. The AK has its place, and it's a great weapon. If you need to penetrate terminal barriers, it's going to beat the AR hands down. But the AR is a great platform. I love it. It's an easy weapon to work on and modify at the end user level. Its controls are just way better, more, I think they're set up more with a combat shooter in mind, really. AKs, you know, on the square range, yeah, they'll work fine, but you start adding stress into that and pucker factor, your gross motor skills go out the window as soon as bullets start flying. So I don't know, anything that the weapon system can do to make it easier on the operator, the better. Yeah, won't bore you guys anymore. Like I said, send me anything you want. Let me know what you think. Tell me it's nice. Tell me you hate it. Tell me I'm stupid. I'm just going to keep on making videos for you guys. Thanks. Bye.